I'm going to move to my favorite platform.
Yes.
I live 45 miles from the headquarters
Yes,
of the company.
okay, yes.
One of the co-CEOs, who's the technology visionary for that company,
Yep.
relates to the fact that I worked for a multitasking company years
Yes,
ago,
yes.
and he was using the same chip in his devices as we supported in our software.
Yes.
And we had multitasking capability.
Yep.
And of course, I'm referring to the BlackBerry.
Of course.
The BlackBerry has the best multitasking capability I've seen anywhere, and Mike and I have had some discussions in that regard over the years. And I'll disclose I'm a very, very small RIM shareholder. So
Okay, all right, okay.
I get to the annual meetings. So the question is, you announced last May Skype for BlackBerry.
Yes.
When are we going to see it?
Okay. We've had I think you're aware, we've had a beta trial up and running with, we announced that back in May, and that's been up and running, and we've been learning and understanding how do we make that a really good experience. You will see more coming from us this year with BlackBerry.
Okay, so here's my next question on BlackBerry.
Yes, okay.
RIM has been very reluctant to release APIs for the Wi-Fi.
Yep.
And does this mean the BlackBerry has to be one of these callback services?
Well, we would like to obviously change that with them, as you can imagine. We would like them to open up more. People like yourself, we have so many people saying, why can't we have this? We see you doing this on other platforms. We'd like you to do this on BlackBerry. It's on our priority list.
Like, I've had experience with iScoot on the BlackBerry.
Yes.
And with the IM Plus for Skype.
Yes.
And it definitely shows the multitasking capability when you can have chat going on in the background, notification, whereas on the iPhone you have to go be in the application.
I know. Okay. And again, the more savvy users that we have want the kind of experience that you've just described. So it's on our agenda. But from our perspective, that also takes some time, in terms of, our whole hierarchy infrastructure is built around P2P. Now when you work in the mobile space, it's a different technology capability, so we have to translate that internally and get our engineering function around that as well, whilst in parallel to what we just discussed a couple of minutes ago, how do we make sure that they're open? There's a lot of things happening out there. We've heard, for example, about Google Phone and what they're doing, the Nexus One. We're hoping that, players like RIM start to reassess us in the whole scheme of look at the changing landscape that's happening out there. We are demonstrating that we can be very supportive of carriers. I think carriers initially looked at us as a significant threat. And again, and you may have seen this, the case study that we did with 3 out of the UK, yes, they do give up some revenue in terms of the Skype to Skype call, but if you look at what we're doing to their business, they're winning more customers because of us. Their non-Skype voice revenue has gone up, their data usage has gone up, and their churn has gone down. I used to work for a carrier. That's, when you come in with Skype, as part of the proposition, it's a way for a carrier to create a differentiated experience for the customer, and we can now prove how it's changing the 3 business. So, those are some of the things that we're going to share with RIM and say, actually, we can complement what the carrier's doing. The example that I used from my mobile days was when I was at O2, we never made money on music. We basically broke even on it. However, our most profitable customers were customers who were engaged with the music services. Not from the stuff that they did with music per se, but everything else that they did around it. And we're seeing that exact same parallel, Jim, with on 3 in terms of they are really attracting active communicators and getting those active communicators to do even more.
This, in a way, what you're talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, is what you experience with that music is sort of what Skype's experience itself.
Yes.
You have something free and it brings an audience.
It does. It absolutely does. And that's great. And again, people who use Skype and trust Skype, and many obviously come for the free experience of it, but you build up a good trusting relationship that they're then happy to say, no, I'm going to put we have to give that to them, and we will push that. So I think longer term, yes, you're right, but for the time being, having that 3G calling experience is also important.
Right. Do you see the adoption of HSPA Plus? And actually, I'm on a 4G wireless here.
Oh, yes.
On the clear one.
Yeah.
Do you see the adoption of those as helping to drive that?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, the more they invest in those networks, I think that only helps us and our ability to really push mobile and more mobile applications down the line.
And I guess the other thing, though, is data plan rates have to come down to the point where it's economically viable
Yes,
to do the calls.
exactly. But I think that will come. But again, the carriers are investing a lot of capital expenditure money to build that. And so
we've just opened 2 new networks in Canada. It's actually a joint network, Bell and TELUS. Only HSPA Plus.
Wow.
They used to be, like, they have CDMA.
Yes.
But the HDMA Plus, they came out with the iPhone.
Yes.
They've got the 9700.
Yes.
And it's changed the whole competitive landscape in Canada.
I bet.
And on the other hand, they're catching up to Russ. There's one other question I keep forgetting to ask.
Okay.
Android.
Yes.
Where are you at with Android?
Okay. Well, we had last year, again, in beta, we've done an Android Lite client. We are looking to move aggressively in terms of having an Android app as well. I'm not sure the exact timing of that, but it's high on our radar. It's Android is a very important platform for us, along with iPhone and Symbian, in addition to
TruePhone announcement.
So yeah, so we when we look at the platforms, we have big plans for each of those. So Android's a part of that.
TruePhone launched an Android today.
Yeah. Okay. Surprise. So I think in terms of summing up for mobile, to me, I'm a marketing person and I'm a customer experience person, and ultimately I am trying to be guided by what is it that our customers want, and what they're saying loudly and clearly is they love Skype on their desktop, get it on mobile, and make the mobile experience a really rich and robust one. There is a little bit of forgiveness, and the customer experience can vary somewhat depending on which platform you're on, which carrier you're working with, the type of handset that you're on. But I'm kind of stepping back, looking at this and making sure that, is it a really good experience? Is it free and unlimited? Is it, always on? What are those tick boxes that we look at and say, look, this is going to be a really good experience? And if we can do that, Jim, I think people will come flooding in. And we've seen that.
One final question.
Sure.
When I get into my new car
Yes.
that I've had for 6 months, all I have to do is sit down in the car, press phone on the dashboard, and at that point my radio plays, but if I hit the enter key on the driving wheel, it says, give us your command. And I say, call Russ Shaw, mobile.
Yes.
And we have a new law in Ontario that it has to be hands-free driving.
Yeah.
And no texting.
All right, okay.
When am I going to be able to say, go and touch my steering wheel and say, call Russ Shaw on Skype?
Good question.
To go. You can do to go.
Yes, that's
you could
true.
No, I can't. I'm in Canada.
You're in Canada. Oh, hold on. Well, it's coming. It's coming in Canada.
Okay.
We're working on it. It is coming. I'm hoping you will see it soon. It's coming.
Okay.
So yes, no, we're getting there on that. What I'm a big fan of, I love Skype Access, because Skype to Go and Skype Access also sit in my business
I actually
unit.
had the Skype Access on the Windows work by default when I was in Toronto
Did you?
Airport the other night.
All right.
Because
we've got that in beta.
It's a Boingo point,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And my laptop came up and said, "You want to use Skype Access?"
Brilliant. Because I'm on Mac, and I just travel around so much, and you're scrambling to get to a hotspot, and I just love the one click and you're in, and it's great.
Anyway, I want to say thank you, Russell, for your time,
Jim.
and appreciate